absolute beast on this map, so I'm leaning towards Fnatic, but who the hell knows?
We don't know, but we will soon find out. Or maybe not soon, as all these games have gone all the rounds. Flusher with the flash and the smoke, and it seems like it might be a fast play in towards B, or are they thinking better of it? Interesting. You can get some nice flashes off the wall through the window. Very hard to avoid on the CT side. Oh boy. Fur, of course, spotting a second player as well. And any plan Fnatic had has definitely fallen apart. So how do they fix this problem?
Definitely a little bit awkward, but still a 4-player survival situation. So they can do a lot with 4 players, but there's so many angles to deal with. 3 players spotted there by JW, and still alive somehow, but he's taking critical damage. Pro will pursue for the finishing shot, and there it is. A headshot, no less, but JW has teammates, and now sprints onto the A site. Things looking quite good, but coldzera delivering a fatal shot, looking very precise. Down to Lekro, a pistol got, but surely too much. The knife is drawn, but the round is won for SK. They'll start their CT side off with some cash, but that doesn't seem to be lasting for too long. Money in this series.
Yeah, the bomb was planted though, so it's likely that we'll see the 3rd round AKs and a minimal investment from Fnatic in this particular round. So many force buys won in the previous maps, but Mirage is quite the open map, and I don't think it will be as easy. Nothing purchased yet by Fnatic. So, wow, okay, they've literally bought nothing at all. In a round such as this, I would expect them to try and have a conga line out somewhere, try and get the bomb down or something, but it's a standard setup. They're looking for some aggression somewhere from SK. They pretty much have everything covered in this Glock round on Mirage, but what will they do afterwards?
I think it tells you how much they respect SK as well, just saying, you know what, even if we buy a couple P250s, we're not going to find a good spot. SK won't give us a spot until you really use them. And that $300 into the next round, the extra flashbang or whatever it might be, Molotov, that's going to go a lot further. So I really like that we see this out of Fnatic, especially considering the pace of the other 2 maps and the willingness for both teams to just dive all in and just spend as much money as possible to keep the pressure up. As you say, ooh, AKs will be in, as well as the flick shots from Phelps. All these players will be very warm by this point. There is no doubt about that.
With the positioning of these SK players, I think a bomb start is very unlikely. Lots of damage being done, and Flusher does not have much to offer at this point. Phelps will finish him off as well. So it's AK territory now for Fnatic. And again, SK are a team who actually run some Fnatic T-strats as part of their team as well. Fnatic strats can be found on many a team these days, and that will be interesting if that happens later on. B split with Molotovs and grenades towards, Molotovs and smokes towards the connector position. But for now, SK are on the CT side. coldzera of the MP9. They know the AKs are coming, so how will SK brace for this? Will we see close position from coldzera and Fur?
Obviously trying to get some information there in the window position. Trying to play it safe. Again, they don't really have anything for range. 2 UMPs, 1 MP9. The best loadout in the world. And then re-smoke there into window to make information gathering even more difficult. Fur now in position in the window. And Fnatic just slowly poking and prodding around the map, taking their time. And Crims offers up next. Rather one opener towards the A site. And there's a second from JW. So 2 players dead in this round for SK. 5v3, that make it a 4v3. Now as Fur gets some more information, it really does look like Fnatic are trying to split A, and there's a punish from Lekro as well.
Whether they split A or not, they're splitting the wigs of SK in this round. Taco walking towards the bomb, still alive somehow, making it a very awkward angle, but he can't do enough. coldzera with a very long-range kill with the MP9. This is a winnable round. He's got pretty much nothing to lose with the MP9. JW and Golden are both in the red, but he'll get taken down flying through the window, landing face first. First round on the board for Fnatic.
The crazy thing is, you're completely right. If he actually gets through that window without Crims being in this position to instantly cover, with the running MP9, he can absolutely kill 2 players at 10 HP. That was kind of scary. Could have definitely gone very wrong, but Fnatic looking good. But of course, SK, they survive with 5 players when they're playing against the 5 Glocks. So that means they're going to be fine for a full buy here. Of course, it's not going to be perfect. Taco only has an MP9, but they have a good amount of utility to play off of. And the interesting choice will be that of Fnatic, as they are on the aggressive side. They get to dictate the pace somewhat, and they're going to go fast in towards the B apps. They have the bomb as well. 2 players still left towards the A side, really making it look like it's going to be a B play, trying to cause rotation to create openers for Fnatic at A.
How much of these strats has SK seen? The Mag-10 delivering the first kill, and now there are 2 of the remaining 4 players towards the B bomb site. But the bomb is in B apps at the moment. There are 2 players, however, lurking towards A for Fnatic, so it's not clear what is going on. Lekro gets taken down by coldzera, down to 20 HP, but Flusher is still there. Flusher, though, has no more grenades. Even a flashbang would be good. Gets an upgrade and manages to move back, but as you can see, coldzera's moved forward, which means he has sound cues, which means we might see Fallen start to rotate towards the A sites.
Ooh, and the kill from JW and Palace could also indicate that maybe they want to go away. This is such a confusing round from the perspective of SK. They really don't know, or I don't think that they can know what's going on at the moment. Right now, Fnatic can do an A split, a B split. Every option is really available to them. And with Cole being the sole man on the bomb site and playing from the apps with 19 health, B is definitely very vulnerable and susceptible to a push. But Fnatic will gather the numbers here. They do have, of course, JW in the Palace position. And instead of using him as a lurker, they're using him for the push. And that's very sensible.
Look at the time on the clock, 25 seconds, and Fallen's basically in a position to stop a bomb plant. Fnatic have run the clock again, but JW creeps through the smoke. 6th sense on JW, and that's going to allow the bomb to go down. No more CTs have position. So Fnatic have made it work, but again, it's just a worrisome situation for Fnatic so early on in this, for it to go down to a knife edge like that, where JW has to make a play through a smoke and kill Fallen in the Ninja's position, essentially. Or fireboxes, rather. Ninja would be the other side. So, SK lose this buy round. coldzera and Fur try to hold on to what they have, but doesn't look likely for Fur with JW creeping. JW is everywhere in this round. 3rd kill for him.
I have to say, this is one of the weirdest rounds I've seen from Fnatic.
I know you like weird, Dan. I know weird is up your street.
I'll be studying this one later. I mean, I would love to see how it looks from SK's perspective, because it felt so difficult to read, and Fnatic had so many different opportunities, and it could have been that they would have lost 2 or 3 players towards the B apps, or that the players towards A, you know, there would have been a push from SK, and then they win that duel. But SK had more passive positions on the A site. If SK are do have any forward setups towards the A site, I think it does go pretty badly potentially for Fnatic. But there's just so many things at play. But again, this is really where Fnatic thrive. They've always been very good at mid-round calling and trying to work out what's going on, how to use them, each other to the best success to get a bomb site. And sometimes the time is really an issue, but they managed to make it work. 2-2 now as Fnatic are against Pistols. A few deagles is all they have to worry about, though.
For those of you on GoTV or Game Commands, you have to pick Crim based on previous performances, and I would go with Fur as well. Always enjoyable to watch on the CT side when he has nice weapons. For now, he doesn't. He's got a box standard USP. We can't expect much in a round such as this. This is a money-making round for Fnatic. Flusher is expendable, but that Mag-10 does have a high kill bonus, pre-firing all the spots, including any CTs maybe standing on the wooden boxes. So Fnatic in these rounds, they're continuously building the start of the rounds the same, at least in terms of so much noise towards the B bomb site through B apartments. Nice play from Lekro there. So we need to look into the future rounds to see how Fnatic, if they continue with this presence, but then do something different afterwards.
It is always cool to see Lekro playing well, especially considering sort of, I think everybody can see his talent on previous lineups. But sometimes talent doesn't necessarily have the best environment to succeed. He definitely seems to be succeeding on this Fnatic iteration with a 4K against the Pistols. And now into the buy round for SK. They don't have the best buy ever. There's definitely arguments to be made to go for a half buy here so they can have AWPs and greater weapons and utility in the following round, but they're deciding to go for it. And it's hard to ever really question SK.
Double UMPs for SK, very much lacking in grenades. And again, this is similar to one of the previous games where their CT money just sucks, and we know how much they need the sniper rifle, Mirage, 4 maps. definitely want that sniper. So what can they do with these kinds of weapons? It calls for aggression. It begs and demands aggression. Taco boosted in B-Apps at the moment, making his way through. So there'll be 3 people on the A site, and we might see Cold being a 4th. Can Fnatic get out of here fast enough, though? Charging up the ladder as Phelps, but he's not going to get anything done. For holding down the connector position. We know SK are a team who are comfortable allowing a T side to take A. They are all about the retake.
That looks pretty good. That's a good defense from Fur. Fallen offers up one as well. Taking down Golden, leaving 2 players left alive for the Swedish side as Crims now works on connector. A very strong frag from him, and with a minute to play with, they do not have to commit to A. And indeed, oh no, JW could be backing into his doom. He is. Taco's ready and waiting. And now Crims again in a clutch situation, but it's Cold he's up against, and Cold is ready as well. SK with the round, and they didn't have the best buy, as you mentioned. So that's a very big win.
Yeah, and I do wonder if part of that is how comfortable they are around the A bomb site. They're not going to fight to the death when T players are on the ramp position, for example. They'll let them come in to a position where they're more exposed to multiple angles, and they are happy with that. They are trained for that. Even with Phelps as a stand-in, the system is already there. It's just the players are slightly different. So both teams on a good buy now. No snipers for the time being. Espero dropping a Molotov into the connector position. And there's a smoke. Is this going to be the fast B split the Fnatic play? This is. Both teams are capable of this execute. SK know what it is because they stole it from this team. And there's a spray through the smoke. The bomb continues to charge, but Taco's got an angle around the smoke. And that may shut things down for Fnatic.
Will they read his position, though? Again, as you say, they may be suspecting the Molotov there to deal with him, and Lekro was indeed looking out for that. And now it's up to Phelps. He's got a good position. He snuck in here towards the back of the bomb site by the bench. Can he find a good timing? It's all about timing, and he's going to be forced out of his position. Very, very smart stuff there from Fnatic. They read the situation. And Fallen, he can't do a single thing in this position. That's a save, and this is a desperate save indeed. He needs this weapon because their money is obliterated.
This is the round I was talking about. If I'm not mistaken, I had a conversation with Fnatic. I believe Optic did this round to SK, who learned it from Optic, who had it done to them by Fnatic. It's a Fnatic strategy. The B split through mid. You smoke connector, then you throw a Molotov and smoke that as well. So the low ground and the high ground is in connector is completely smoked off as part of the B split. Obviously, SK know it as well. They know what was coming, and they weren't able to stop it. So here we go. Fnatic take the lead. Fallen holds on to the M4, and at least at this point, we are reasonably likely to see an AWP onto SK soon.
And that, as you mentioned, is a big, big game changer. And it's really awesome to see that SK haven't been afraid to just constantly challenge Fnatic and to go for these buys, which aren't necessarily optimal, but because they are such good team players, that their individual players are so strong, they can always work with these rounds. And against a lesser team of any degree, they're going to absolutely snowball you and you'll be crushed and they'll have up soon enough. But Fnatic, very good form, love the aggression. We're seeing it here. Lekra going for a timing off of his spawn, very forward spawn towards the pit position. Doesn't get anything from it though, as SK are now also working with very little. But again, we've seen so much from them in these positions. And for the shenanigans, he's so known for it. Gets a second shot, and he won't miss twice.
He wasn't touched once in that situation. Nice grenade going down. And the Molotov as well. But ultimately, he has an AK-47. And again, these rounds have been a constant struggle for Fnatic. They've lost a man, they've lost an AK-47. Fer gets taken down. Mid is not a position where you necessarily want to spend too much time as a T side because you're exposed to so many angles. Flusher checking the low ground, but again, you've got to keep an eye on the clock. Fnatic, you could argue, have misplayed these situations a number of times. You could argue it cost them overpass. They're in a strong situation where they reset the economy of the CT side, and they don't want to mess up on that one.
It's now just all about due diligence from the Swedish side as they start to come together. Two players in mid to split into the A site. With the addition of the players in Palace, things will be pretty easy for SK, or rather, sorry, for Fnatic to deal with SK's defense, or it should be. And there you can see Phelps, he can't cover everything. You have to take the gambles. And ooh, Cold, he's doing some damage here. Big opportunity, not many bullets left, but he's going to survive. This could actually change things if Fallen can get going with the scout, but he will be taken down. Golden very quick to the headshot.
This bomb has to go down. 10 seconds left and Cold Zero is still alive. Lecro holding the angle, but a bomb's been planted. There's a flank coming in as well. Taco, position undetected. He's got a 5-7. That is a pretty damaging weapon, but if he starts firing too fast, he could lose control of it. Surely he gets at least 1 kill. He can get an angle on Golden before Krim spots him. Golden in the corner, but Golden must be holding this angle. He's ready for it. No, he isn't. There's a 5-7 straight in the head. There's one more player. He knows where he is. Falling down. So close. Fnatic win the round, but look how dangerous it was again.
Gold, so much damage out that CZ, causing really big issues. Everything looked fine. It was a really, really good setup from Fnatic, but again, you can just never count out these players. They're just so damn good. See Cole just finishing off the 2 players which he'd previously weakened, and then Taco having all the information as to where the players were standing and made this very, very close. Fnatic, there is not going to be a single round you can take for granted.
You saw the nerves on Gold, and he's like happy and like, holy crap, that was a close one. And that's only round number 8. Moving to round number 9, SK are on the pistols because the force spike failed. And they won't be too concerned for the time being. The score, the night is still young, and so is the score. 2 players left now. This might be a quick one for Fnatic. JW moving in blind, gets a kill of course. It is JW after all. Taco spotted, on to the next one. Always love a brief eco round.
Yeah, and I actually really think Fnatic played it very smart. Lecro showed himself, as he has done many rounds, just peeking into the pit position whilst the team is just setting up nades. So his peek doesn't give anything away. If anything, it makes it look like they're playing one of the slower eco rounds. So I think that's a really cool switch up of the pace that would have caught SK off guard. So smart stuff from Fnatic as always. And they land themselves 6-3 as we go into the next round.
Still no sniper for SK. Again, limited on the grenades. So what is a difference maker for the Brazilian squad? There we go, aggression from Fallen. He's got 1 kill, looking for the second. That's exactly what SK needed in this round.
That is big. How do you recover from that? That's the question. At the very least, you have a lot of time to work with, and you're on the T side. It makes it much easier to deal with, but by no means will it be simple. And there's a quick kill from Fer to make it even worse. It wasn't already bad enough. Grimsy's done some crazy stuff, but he's already known now in this position. It's going to be very hard to do anything. I've seen a lot of grenade lineups, swift grenade lineups missed so far, but you can't really blame these players. They're in an incredibly intense and demanding situation, and at this point, the objective is just surely damage.
Both these teams want to leave an indelible mark on this major, but perhaps only one team will, following this map of Mirage. Fnatic have got lots of money, so they have to make an impact with these last 2 AK-47s. They have to take money away from SK, keep them on the struggle. Fnatic will have the opportunity to change the pace in the next round with what they choose to buy. But for now, the damage must continue. They know where Krims is, and he knows that as well. So he's got to speed up before the rotation comes in, but there it is. Just the 1 kill in that round. A great round for SK. There are some of the SK community.
Yeah, this has been an amazing crowd, James. We're never disappointed. Whenever you go to America, the audience is always fantastic, loving the energy, and right now, both of these teams need a lot of energy to get through this best of 3. And it's going to be very difficult here for SK if they lose this round, because they do have some amount of cash in the bank, but this is sort of the perfect swing round for Fnatic if they're to win this. And they're going to know this, so it'll be very cool to see exactly what strategy they're going to pick to open up this map with. And already Palace control. We've got a lurk around pit as well. It's JW this time. And it looks like they'll do a late top mid take here. So Fnatic's taking this round very slowly.
Indeed, they are changing the pace. Just waiting for any aggression from SK, but SK have solved one of their problems, which was Albai sucked. We need an early advantage. That's what they had in the last round with that quick 2K, which pretty much shut the whole round down. 1 minute 10 for Fnatic. Nobody in the underpass for the T side just yet, but Flusher can make his way there later on. SK, 2 people deep in the A bomb site. And they can quickly have 4 people on A. They're just leaving Taco alone towards B. We've seen teams like Cloud9 with someone like Tarek in the B apps with an AWP and just hold a line and put more people towards the A site. Even with only M4s, SK are comfortable doing that. Maybe feeling there's a very high probability that Fnatic will often end on A. 40-second mark, and Fnatic haven't done too much of anything at the moment, but as the smokes come in, they can move towards connector for a split.
It is really interesting because we're seeing this deep pit position from Fallen, and that, oh, there it is. I was going to say that that's a really strong position when you're trying to set up for an A split, and that could completely screw over Fnatic. As you say, the time is of the essence. Fallen is decapitating player after player. Fallen not stopping, gets his third one in the round, and his Flusher left alive to do some damage. He has to get some kills here. He can't allow them to survive with 4 players, but they will. SK could very much turn this round win into a good degree of momentum.
And there's a change of pace from Fnatic, not quite working out for them. Maybe fearing the aggression from SK, but again, they're spending a lot of time and not really achieving significant enough goals. There's, they don't have the best position to stop SK from holding solid map positions on A. And again, SK, they had no reason to put more people towards the B bomb site, so they had potential 4 people on A very quickly, and it worked out for him. Fnatic have to get something out of this round, otherwise it's Eco Town for the Swedes.
Yeah, very, very true. And no one likes Eco Town, especially not Fnatic. Fallen scanning middle, looking for any tidbits of information, but ultimately denied by the smoke. It is by design, of course, from Fnatic, looking to take mid with 0 risks, or as minimal risks as they possibly can afford to take, as they get a boost into the window. Setting Flusher up, and this is really critical. If he's undiscovered in that position, he can make some really huge plays. Oh, that is big. First spotted and fragged in connector. Fallen has no idea about Flusher. Surely. Oh, apparently he does. The game sense unrivaled.
Always aware of what might be a risk. Fallen with attack through the corner of the wall, but can he escape? It seems he can. He's got support on the way as well, looking for more shots through the smoke. The bomb, though, is still completely static on the ramp, even though there are 3 people around the A site, and Taco's just going to charge through the smoke and get a cheeky kill. Swap weapons because he's low, so he'll have the AWP. 3 versus 4. The bomb's still not planted. The bomb's only in sandwich. Why isn't it getting planted? It's because they're completely exposed. No more smokes now. 2 versus 4. The A site proving to be a disaster for Fnatic. Desperation plant, but they will be picked surely. Phelps just bomb goes down, having a look. And now it's down to JW. 15 HP, 1 versus 3. Spots a player towards jungle, but can't do anything. SK are so ready for plays on A. This is going to be a huge problem for Fnatic. That said, there are only 2 more rounds left, and they've got 6 rounds on the board, so maybe the nightmare is over, or close to being over.
Well, this is shaping up to be an incredible game as well, just due to the fact that I think most people will agree that it is a bit CT-sided. So you have the situation where I think Fnatic, even if they don't get any more rounds, they are fine into the second half. But this is incredibly competitive between these 2 teams. There's never really been a moment where I think either team has felt safe. Even in situations where you have a team going for a really hard eco, it can look dangerous at any given moment. So small breather as we get a tactical timeout from Fnatic. Obviously, I think as you mentioned, James, previously that change of pace didn't really work out for them. That seemed to be something that they felt like could be a good response to what their opponents have been doing. But SK, again, they're so versatile. They're an amazing team. If they have to play passive, they can do it like absolute gods and not give you any opportunities for a frag. Then you have no time left and you have to execute into a site. And they're also retake gods. So there is that as well to contest against.
Fast underpass play from third. There's a pop flash. Surely that has been heard. It doesn't seem like Fnatic are paying attention to this. Crim's now having a look, but with the pistols, there's only so much he can offer. That's the bomb down the stairs, and now things get super awkward for Fnatic. Lekro, the only man with an AK. Maybe Golden can rescue the bomb, but Taco's moved forward in apartments while all this distraction has been run. Got a good hold on things while the smoke is up. Doesn't want to get too close, though. Cold Zero taken down towards B as well. It'll be harder for the T's to get hold of that gun for the time being. But they've got 2 rifles now, and the bomb is secure for the time being.
The big question is how SK try to play this position. You don't want to play blind, but Lekro continuing to do damage. Will have flashed into mid, but doesn't suspect the underpass angle and has to fall back and away towards B. Fallen on 2 HP, though we've seen him win rounds with that amount of health and an AWP, so still very dangerous. And his job now is to lock down an entire bomb site by himself, and it's unknown as to where the Swedish side are going. Lekro sitting in connector. able to gather information, able to punish any information plays. Fnatic set up for this round.
35 seconds. Phelps is in an exposed position. Nobody on the ramp for the T side, but surely he is in for a nasty surprise. Fallen starting to rotate now, but will he stay in the market area? It seems he will. That'll be his focus, holding a line. 16 seconds for the bomb to go down. Phelps on the ramp now. They may have to plant for default. Oh, they're making the wrong play. He's taking out the other fraggers, but really he could have just concentrated on the guy planting the bomb. Now it's Fallen with 2 HP. He's got angles though. The bomb has been planted. Golden, 1 bullet from either of these players, and the round is over. 6-6. Someone's going to take the lead. Golden, as time ticks on, he worries about the jungle position. On the triple, and there it is, only exposing his head. Dangerous times, but Fnatic prevail.
I almost saw the flick happening for Fallen then. I mean, we saw it on Inferno, just an absolute godlike pixel flick. But Necro just, he stood in middle, just fragging everyone. This was an incredible performance from him. You can see Taco punished, he wanted to try to get information. There was a pop flash as well then after that for Fallen, but then he got tagged down to 2 HP. Brilliant effort from Fnatic, again fighting their way back from a really hard position. SK though, they have all the money, and it's a faster pace here from Fnatic, as Fer once again diving into underpass. Can you deny him?
Prim's taken down early towards the ramp, and again, with a Mag 7 in play, that is what they needed. Though he's close with the Mag 7, regardless. Oh, that flashbang is perfect, and Flusher will shoot him in the head. 4-on-4. Lecro in the middle of mid, as the smoke dissipates. I think Cold is in the ladder position, so let's see how this plays out. Again, Taco enjoying the freedom of the B apartment, but he made a jump, and he will have been hurt by Flusher. But what can Flusher read into that? Does he read that there's one person on the B bomb site?
1 minute to go. A lot of choices to be made here by Fnatic in particular, as it's all up to them in this spot. SK have taken defensible positions. Spots where they can play information, they can play with each other. That's a good tag from Flush. I think there's a headshot through the lip there at the end of the plateau. Cold Zero will hear the players running in for the B-split. He's going to go for the flank. No one's going to spot him. Cole's going to come in from the back. There's one. Now he's known. Cole gets a second. He's eventually traded, but has he done too much damage? It's just up to JW, as he's got the AWP in a 1 versus 3. The bomb to be picked up. 30 seconds to go. There's too much to deal with, and JW folds in this position. 7-7. SK and Fnatic are tied.
Cold Zero, simply not looking for the frags. They were around the short position so long, they must have assumed surely if somebody was in ladder room, they would have popped out by now, but no. He's just lurking there until it's time to end the round. Golden, just horrible timing for him. By the time JW trades, it's all too late. 7 apiece, and now it's Fnatic with a desperate buy in the last round of the first half. Will get aggressive up mid, Molotov towards the back boxes, but it lands in front, and that's going to compromise first position, but Flusher will still get taken down. Meanwhile, Fnatic are charging into the A site. Phelps picking off JW now. We've got players around the smoke, Fallen blind towards CT, fired off a shot, they know he's there. 3-on-3.
There's actually a chance here for Fnatic, despite the health situation. The smokes allow them some level of breathing room here so they can get some post-plant positions. Oh, this is a sneaky play, Crims from up top. Oh, taken down for... very decisive, but so is Lecro, going in for more now, looking to work the off angles like an absolute god. Lecro does it all! 5 kills for Lecro!
Mildly happy with that. Trying not to smile, of course, slightly embarrassed. 8-7 in favor of Fnatic. Lecro is the man. Glad he gets his highlights, and here he is, hunting for everyone. Friends falling in front of him. But he will clean out all of SK. Really tight half in the end. And now there is a wealth of potential for both of these teams moving into the second half.
What an absolute god. But there are so many gods of Counter-Strike on this server at the moment, James. This is a pretty insane battle. A battle of biblical proportions. As we'll see them continue to fight it out, as we've only just come to the end of the first half, indeed, of map number 3.
Look at, well, you're about to see all the utility SK have in this round. They've got 3 people basically on full grenades. I do wonder where this Molotov is going. You can Molotov CPL from the top of mid. Okay, we've got early grenades towards A. The bomb is on the ramp. 3 people top mid, firing shots. They don't have good weapons for it, but JW's forced away. The Molotov does go into the CPL position. Crim's taken down towards the connector area. They're basically splitting the A site now. JW lying in wait, just as cold 0 was, but can he land the frags? There's the first one, not a second, however. Phelps trying to control the crawl space, and Flusher will be forced away.
Yeah, trying to bait them into angles here, as Lekro does hold the vents. But nothing doing here for Fnatic. They are completely locked out of the bomb site, and they're without the master key. But it may not be required if they find some headshots. That's always a good response in the game of Counter-Strike, as Lekro may be forced to start to push in now as there is a distraction from his teammates available, but there's a very good setup here from SK. They don't seem to be wavering whatsoever. Golden looking to find something. He'll get a single headshot, but there's 3 more players where that came from. The knife coming out from Phelps just to make sure that he's off the bomb. And that's the round there for the Brazilians. Such a crucial one to get.
I think Phelps even got shot in the head by his teammate. They were so nervous. That was a really good angle for him to hold a bomb, but Phelps was right in there with his blade, so I don't think that was happening regardless. 8-8. Fnatic do not win their pistol round. How much will they invest now? This has been such a long game, a game of endurance, and it's not over yet. Force buy from Fnatic. Everybody getting invested. No one saving for an AWP. JW with the scout. What do they have in mind? Going for a peek and connector, but he'll be denied by the Molotov.
Yeah, I like the double pit play from Fnatic. It's always a nice one. Should there be a single player to test that area from the T side, obviously it gives them a lot of options to get the 2v1, steal away a gun. Yeah,
speaking of strats, that pit play is the ramp play is an SK strat. They put this on YouTube and then it was everywhere. It was absolutely everywhere. Very powerful, especially with pistols like a CZ. SK with 3 players in mid as they quickly move into connector. Trying to deny the CT's information for looking for info. And that is a 2-man push on the ramp. However, Phelps is in the palace position, so we'll keep an eye on how that progresses. The bomb in the middle area, and it seems that it may head in towards A.
Yeah, looking to pull the trigger on the plate. You don't want to wait for too long. We've seen how troublesome that can be. Ferb gets himself the first blood in the round. 45 seconds left with that Mag 10, and now we see SK starting to spill into the A-bomb site. Not too much Fnatic can do about it, but they can save their current loadout, which would be very powerful moving into the next round, as that would be a full save round, typically. And they can definitely offer up a lot of damage. And I think Flusher did collect a scout there, which was dropped, of course. So that will be quite useful into the following round as well. We can see the tag from the scout. Flusher doing some damage, falling back. And right now, it's SK are trying to get some damage done, but there's always a risk of giving guns away. And Taco will be able to take Krims down without too much of an issue, but definitely danger does lurk. And Fnatic should be okay to survive this round with 3.
Another round in the bag for SK Gaming. Are they in the driving seat yet? Time will tell, but for now, it is the Eco round from Fnatic, $2,000 per person. Not much to shout about, apart from the scout. The odd player here and there with Kevlar, they'll spread the pistols around should they need to. Lekra has a deagle, always worth mentioning. So let's see what the CT side choose to do. Will they get aggressive again? They don't really have a lot to get aggressive with. So it will be 4 people on the A-bomb side, the A-stack. Foliage is nice, but love to see the game. There we go. So, JW in the window with the sniper rifle. The rest of the team in at the A site, playing close quarters versus the SMGs. Maybe this is even.
Is that a completely blind shot? I think it was. Very nice by JW. That's kind of scary as well. Fur is the guy to try to open things up, but it's who other than Lekro to get the deagle headshot onto Fur. Now there's only 4 players left for SK. And considering that there is Kevlar, and again, we've got the Deagle, the CZs, the Scout. This does begin to get a little bit troublesome for SK. You can see them beginning to move down together to set up for that A push. But Flush, if he gets a quick kill here, that could screw everything up for SK. And that might give the game away. He picks up an AK as well. This is massively troublesome for the Brazilians.
High ground advantage now for Fnatic, all 5 players in tow. However, the Scout's over towards the B bomb site, and that's may save the bacon of SK for the time being. The bomb has surely been spotted now by the CTs. Legro making his way towards the short position with the Deagle. Still no kills for SK. Finally, there's one. 35 seconds, and it must be too late to rotate. They've got to go for this SK, but they're not too concerned with time. They're playing it as safely as possible, trying to flash off these positions. Legro with the Deagle, trying to make his way into the life for the time being, and coldzera will take him down. 3-on-3. The scout is in play. How can they plant the bomb? Almost everywhere is exposed. Crim's in a shadow position. 15 seconds now. Taco down. coldzera down. Fnatic are back in this. Stealing the round away. It was an eco round, but here we are.
It was, but it does also show you, James, the power of if the round doesn't play out perfectly on your first force buy, you can just save those guns. And they were able to save 3 of the 4 that they attempted to save. And bringing those Kevlars in, bringing the CZs into this round, that second chance was all they needed. And now they've stolen back some AKs, and they've picked up a decent amount of guns overall. So they're in an amazing spot from an economic position if they can survive this next round against SK. This is a big swing round for both teams.
Tactical timeout from SK for the time being. Man, these anti-eco rounds have proven dangerous on all of the maps in this series.
It is actually pretty impressive if you think about it, because usually when you look at these anti-force buys and you see them doing so much damage, it really used to be often that even at the top level, you would see it happen because teams aren't necessarily playing it too correctly or optimally. But both of these teams are just playing out of their goddamn minds when it comes to playing with pistols. So I honestly don't think you can fault Fnatic or SK for losing those rounds too much. But we're back into the action. Both teams with a decent buy. JW on a scout instead of an AWP, but that will do.
We've got a CT boost on the short position, on the bricks, looking over some smokes presumably, or maybe expectant of some. Off angle as well is always good. So see if Legro can get anything out of this as the round progresses. 3 players top mid for SK. Sorry, 2 players, and they've got some in apartments as well. And you can see the bomb staying in this position, but the question is it going towards the other pass? Is it going towards B? Is he looking to perhaps show the bomb if somebody gets aggressive? I don't know. Fallen is not really in a position where he wants to take a fatal engagement if somebody was to push, and he'll start to back away.
And this is an A retake setup from Fnatic. The way that they're playing A is very, very passive. Spotting from the ticket booth. And you have Crim's not standing on the stairs or standing in connector, he's standing in jungle instead. So it's a position where he's able to eliminate a lot of variables, and if grenades do come in, he can just fall back behind the smokes, wait for his teammates to come in, and they can go for the retake. And this is, again, something that SK are probably going to go to a lot of these A rounds. And there's a lot of grenades left on Fnatic for the retake, so they're in pretty good stead if they do lose this bomb site, which they definitely will.
Molotovs are out for SK, 27 seconds remain, but coldzera is the first one to get picked off. Just keeping an eye on the gap in the smoke at the bottom. Phelps, is he going to make a play through towards the jungle position? Flusher is here, and there's a shot from Phelps, but the bomb still hasn't gone down. Finally, it's about to get planted in the smoke with 14 seconds remaining, and there it is, 4 versus 3 as Taco tries to reposition. In the sandwich position, 1 player in shadow, and Phelps still trying to keep control of this area. Running past the angle, JW spots him now. So they know where 2 of the players, 3 players might be. Lekro in the window, 4-on-2 now. Ask SK, how much more can they get out of this?
It's going to be tough. Takes the duel. He's going to lose. It's up to Taco to try to do it. 2 quick kills, giving a slight chance, but shut down by the superior numbers of the Swedes as they now barrel in for the defuse of the bomb, and that's the round for them. And again, we can't really stress how important this round was to win for both teams.
That was a bit scary at the end there, because the bomb, there was a player, a dead cadaver on top of the bomb. So it took them a while to find it. And it wasn't really quite ticked, but there we go.
Now the AWP can come into play for Fnatic. And this is also Fnatic on CT side of Mirage. That's when you will see them be their most dominant. This is the scariest side to play against Fnatic on. So it mirrors Overpass in that respect, where you're very afraid of SK when they reach the CT side. So this will be very interesting to see how this progresses. They've got a good start now. They've got the money. JW's on the AWP. Will he get the first pick? Ooh, that's a close one.
Yeah, he should have landed that first shot. There's a warning. He needs to stay alert. It has been a long match so far, but there's a lot more carnage to come. Taco down to 20 HP. It is an eco round. It is an eco round for SK. Falling on the scout, ever dangerous. Sometimes it's impossible to stop the T side from getting close. Phelps spotting a player. He saw a shadow there. and he sees it again. He's being teased. And Cold Zero will start to move up, maybe to try and do something with this. But there is the smoke. And there is flusha, just about getting the kill. Cold Zero can't really do anything about it. Crim's holding the angle, and he'll get taken down as well. Taco and Fallen remain, and now it's just Taco. The man who got tagged in the first place, he'll be the last one to fall. No kills for SK in that round. 11-9 for Fnatic.
I'm just absolutely gobsmacked by how smart flusha is in this position. He understands that he may be challenged from that sort of boost position, so then he smokes off any potential trade frags if as he moves in for the engagement. That is so smart. flusha is an absolute god. If you want to learn how to play with utility, just watch flusha demos. He's one of the best out there when it comes to utilizing utility to maximize your advantages. And 11-9 is the scoreline, with Fnatic looking really good at the moment, but the AKs are back out for SK. And if we've learned anything from this series, James, we can't expect Fnatic to really build any economy.
What can we see from SK in this round? 5 AKs for the Brazilian squad.
SK getting a lift from the crowd as we have a very important round at hand. They really, really must win this. Otherwise, Fnatic do start to take some serious advantages moving into this final half in this best-of-3 series. 5 AKs or 4 and a Galil, not the best amount of utility.
There's already a ramp push from Fnatic. They have instantly had 2 people push the ramp. And they are looking for information very, very fast. This could be a hard read on what they're expecting from SK.
And this really does play against the meta that sometimes you would just leave one player in Palace as a T side. This is insane because SK's pace is not exactly as quick as you would potentially want, and this would be very surprising. I don't think they're ever going to be anticipating this, and it's starting to come to a head, the push. Oh, the Colt's looking for the back, but will he expect the second? That's the question.
Such intelligence from SK is absolutely ridiculous. They know the only place that's exposed is a ramp, and he's just standing there looking for somebody to flank. So they've got the information, SK, but what can they do to capitalize on this? Moving towards the A site. The bomb has to stay out of the scope. Taco gets spotted. One more team to make their way towards connector. That's Cold Zero taken down. The information isn't enough maybe for them to win the round. 2 versus 4. Phelps and Fur versus the might of Fnatic.
What a ridiculous situation. They had 0 players of the 4 on the A site. SK with a real chance here. Fur and Phelps indeed looking to try to clutch this for SK. So important this round. Oh no, Phelps goes down. It's up to Fur. Looking to make the push in. He may be able to get a couple here, but the bomb is being tapped, and JW says no!
Is this illegal or MLG? 180 scopes from JW. You feel sad for SK because they show such great presence of mind, sitting top mid on the boxes, looking for a flank. When you get that kill, you know where that player came from, but they still can't capitalize on it. And credit to Fnatic for making a bold play in the first place. Two man on road, just walking down the ramp into T-spawn.
Yeah, it's so awesome to see that in these incredibly important situations. To take big risks like that is so cool to see. And now SK, they're going to go for the buy, but they don't have many grenades. They're going to make a fast contact play, perhaps towards the A side. They are denied by the initial counter grenades, and leia will, in the meantime, gather information in middle. And the longer this round goes on, the closer Fnatic will be to figuring out what's happening. But that means it's good, because here comes SK. They know there's no time. They go straight in.
One player in a sandwich position, that's Phelps, and he's got the bomb. Crim spots him, Crim takes him down. Crim does massive things from this position. Moving to the low ground now, keeping them guessing, but Fur will take his face off. 3-on-3, and Cold is still he's basically going into the B bomb site, which means that SK have to plant for short, and he has to go through old versus pro strats. But they don't have the position to do this. Fnatic have pretty much every angle covered because leicro's in connector. SK are playing it slow. Instead of planting for short, Cold Zero's securing the B bomb site, and they're going to go for the long rotation. Still walking in T-spawn because they don't know if somebody's top mid which would hear them. But surely they've got to start running soon. And Fnatic realize what may have happened, but how can they get into this B bomb site?
Cold Zero could just shut this down. He's in a position to just kill everyone. This would be so tough to just deposition him, to frag him. Great off angle. They must surely suspect it. When the B play comes in, they knew that they left that side open. They know that this is not safe, but will they check it? Will Cold find a good timing? Goes for the peak. There's number one. And now it's up to JW to try to make good of this. If he can get the kill, there's a real chance here, but he doesn't even want to test it. And you can't blame him, or perhaps maybe he will. He's actually coming back with a pistol. That's a mistake. Cole denies JW. And now Lekro tries to make his way in, but not even Lekro can force his way into the B-bomb site here.
And you know what this means? That they could have given an AWP to SK, although they didn't choose to save it, actually. So I don't know if Cole was looking for it, but they didn't pick it up. And I don't think they've got the money for it, so we won't see any shenanigans from Fallen with a sniper rifle in this round. Fnatic have the money to buy 12-10. Cold0 having a great game as far as information is concerned. Really crazy rounds here on Mirage. Fnatic still in the lead, but that was an expensive round for them. And they don't have a lot left.
Yeah, really, really big round again. Loser of this will be on eco territory. No one wants to be there, especially when you're in round 23 and the series is almost over. Fnatic have a slight lead, but it could all go away if they're not successful here. They've got a pretty decent presence around connector at the moment. SK. Slower pace in this round. They do have top mid, but they've yet to really develop that control into anything else. And they are definitely poised to do a late round A split if that's what they want, but they really need to take top mid first. And you can see Flusher is keeping tabs on it, as is Crims. They can play with each other. There can be flashes here for each of them. Smoke into the mid window. Where's the response here now from Fnatic?
Crims blind, but he'll stand his ground. No spraying from him. Fer, got to be careful. Taking some damage now. Flusher hungry to do something around this smoke, but he's being waited for. Cold0 showing he's one of the smartest men in this game. They've got to concede the position, Fnatic. Crims around the smoke. Here's a grenade being primed. Can he get two? No, just the one. They've still got Golden in CT. He's fighting, but he can't do it. Taken down from Tetris, and now maybe the bomb can go down.
Maybe put JW's in position. He does get smoked off, and he can find something through that smoke. Spraying desperately, but finds absolutely zero. And now the odds here for Fnatic get really bad. With JW so weak, he can't really take engagements, and the smoke is fresh. Looking to try to find something, maybe a boost, maybe anything. But there's nothing to be offered for JW just yet. He's very reliant on Lekro to make something happen from this position, but there's no real safe way for Lekro to get into a position.
It's such a risk for him to make a play through that crawl space. That crawl space has been occupied by the enemy in many rounds on both halves. But he's still starting to creep in now. But what is he going for? Is he going for, I don't know, he doesn't have a kit, so I don't know what the goal is here. Maybe just take some weapons away. What is the idea? Well, there's Fallen taken down. But he will die for the cause, so whatever they were going for, it cost them a player on both sides. But JW has the sniper rifle, and he may be playing alone in this round because his team have about 3,000 per person.
We'll see the MAC-10 coming out onto Taco, which is always a nice choice. I mean, you can get information, you can really sack that player for position as well to create space for the riflers. So there's a lot of utility from that perspective of a player that is carrying an SMG around like this, especially considering the lack of Kevlar as Fnatic are forced to the save. But JW does pose a threat, and this is why I think we're going to see this fast hit with a sprinkle of utility. It'll definitely mean that JW is going to be less of a factor no matter what happens.
Where is JW trying to go? He was in the CPR position, maybe in the underpass now. Lekro blind, Lekro gone. That is the B-bomb site taken, and it might already be a save. It might be worth Fnatic trying to protect the AWP with the players they have alive, because surely SK will come looking otherwise. Some warning shots through the smoke, and Taco tries to make a play as other people escape. Only giving up the MAC-10 though, so that's fine. That'll be a boost to try and do more dirty work. Sound cue's given away. That is a failed jump. Flusher might need a new mouse wheel. Score soon to be tied. Fnatic soon to be back on the bye. It's going down to the wire again. It's
actually pretty, I mean, of course, despite losing the round, that Fnatic are never really going to be in a great position to win. They look like they're pretty good to survive with the AWP and the Kevlar JW has. He'll be able to drop for a teammate. They're going to have a lot of resources to put into this next round. So it kind of works out in some ways, some small ways. There is, you know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel from that perspective. A silver lining, perhaps a better idiom. But It is now 12-12 between these two teams. Things have slowed down a lot.
Tense stuff. Whether you're Swedish, Brazilian, or just a fan in general. 12-12. The teams continue on the bye. Flusher continues with the Mac 10. Mac 10 on CT side Mirage. That will be curious. The smoke staying in. Ooh. Oh, that's a bad miss. They're all in B apartments, SK. Molotov will slow down any ideas that they might have had early. And of course, they don't have any map control in this position. Flusher's not going to be the best support, though, towards the B bomb site with the Mac 10. And here come the grenades. leia trying to buy time with the smoke, trying to look away from flashes, but they're here. They're all over the B bomb site, SK. And this might be a save already.
Yeah, they just can't risk it. The bomb is going to be planted too quickly. Quick frag from JW before the smoke blooms. But that perhaps might be all that they can get as they look to scurry back. Great round from SK, despite, of course, the missed smoke, which they probably know nothing about. It's very, very cool to just get a very quick explosion onto a bomb site. You can see that they completely caught Fnatic off guard with a very fast pace. And that's something that SK masters are playing with, is the pacing. And pacing is really big in a game of Counter-Strike. It creates expectation as to how you think your opponents will play and the kind of options that they may exploit. So will SK go fast again, or will they go slow? Or maybe a mix of the two. It's always a guessing game with them. And I think, as it was pointed out on the desk, SK perhaps the hardest team in the business to counter-strat.
What do Fnatic do with what they have? They can drop some weapons. Tactical timeout from Fnatic at the moment. Kind of expected a play like that to come in. When do you see that? 5 people in apartments, double Molotov towards the van position. Works marvelously for SK. Fnatic happen to be ill-equipped with Flusher on short with the Mac 10. Terrible weapon to try and deal with that.
It does look a little bit lame in that position, doesn't it? It's like, well, this is not going to do a single thing. Luckily for him, had he had a rifle, I think he still would have gone down immediately. So I guess that's some small consolation, perhaps. But indeed, SK swinging things back in their favor as we count down. Round 26 about to start. SK starting to take liberties here against Fnatic. Fnatic starting to look a little bit weaker. Can they find some strength, just as SK have done, to bring themselves back into this one? 2-man play towards pits. Cold ready, though. Ready and willing.
Got to be careful. Cold looks hungry for a frag. 2 players towards A very early on for the T side. Kind of tells you that they will be going to A eventually, whether the bomb's there or not. The slow creep. Cold Zero good for both frags. That is a massive 2K on the ramp. Serious problems for Fnatic. Flutter taken down as well. Phelps going nuclear. All of a sudden, leicro's alone. What has happened to this round?
It's gone, James. It has gone very quickly. leicro looking to get some kills here, but his position is really difficult. He's got no health as well. The nade comes in to chip off just a tiny bit more, and he's left on 28. That's all he can really do now in this position to try to just save on to this AK-47, but he is being hunted. Cold Zero with the cross. And there he is, Cold. What an incredible round from him. 3 kills in the end, but the 2K at the start, it just snowballed from that position. And that's 2 very bad rounds from Fnatic's perspective, getting crushed very quickly, and that has broken them perhaps.
The Brazilian strong style is here, just when you needed it. On the cusp of match point, there is a buy from Fnatic, but it's not ideal. They don't have the sniper. SK bringing the tricks out of the hat now. Cold Zero being unleashed, just waiting. It's been great to watch him all game. And it continues here on Mirage. 14-12. SK now in the driving seat. Seems to be holding all the cards at the moment.
Slow mid-take coming in from SK. Fnatic don't have much utility to really contest this. They must be very cautious. They do want to take aggressions. They want to find fights. They do not want to allow SK to really abuse that utility advantage. And that's a big find from Fur. Crims goes down in connector. And now Fur, he is the king of connector perhaps, and he'll do with it as he will. And he decides to abandon it. SK holding mid, waiting for a move.
Are Fnatic running out of steam? They must win this round. Golden towards CT on his own. 2 players still around the the crawl space to jungle, the CPL position for Fnatic, and SK just walking in without warning. Flusher is exposed. JW is making jump sounds, and this is going to be a problem. Flusher surely gets flanked by coldzera here in this position, and there it is. 2 plays left for Fnatic to stop SK making it to match point, but Golden's dispatched off immediately, and there goes Legro as well. Match point SK on Mirage.
1 more round, and SK will find themselves in the semi-finals against Cloud9. This match in of itself feels like a finals. It's been so intense, but it does indeed seem like Fnatic are starting to lose some of that steam, some of that fire, some of the fuel that kept them going for so long. SK starting to look very dominant. It's going to take a miracle to stop them now.
Fnatic ill-equipped for what is being asked of them. SK looking like they're playing with a full team at the moment. 4 French guns for Fnatic and the scout onto Flusher. Desperate times, very desperate indeed. SK moving around. There goes Flusher on short. JW's there as well. Crim's taking down in connector. 3 Fnatic players remain. No answer to this aggression from SK. 3 players in the middle position. The bomb dropped. JW has the information. Can he get more than 1 frag? He must, or he has to escape. 1 of the 2. Golden taken down elsewhere. Nobody on A now. And SK can make their way in.
There it is. Fallen gets JW. Now it's just Lekro 1 versus 4. He's done some incredible stuff so far, but only a FAMAS and 4 players to find. SK Gaming are in the semi-finals of the E-League Boston Major. What a fantastic display of resilience and individual and team performance from them.
That has got to be one of the most difficult recoveries I can remember seeing. They were in such